Hey Tui, you know what time of year it is? That's right, little friend. It's the Christmas season. It's upon us. I am so excited. Oh, you're right. This hat does nothing for the occasion. Hold on. Let me change. What? It's Krampusncht. Welcome to Teacup for One. My name is Matt and I have 2 degrees. Oh, hush, the mask looks good on you. Friends, welcome to the first day of our Teacup for One Christmas time programming. I am so excited. The holiday season is upon us, and this year is extra exciting because as much as I love Christmas, I wasn't able to do that much Christmas content last year because I put all of my time and energy into my hashtag Scrooge A Christmas Carol web series, which was one of the proudest accomplishments of my creative career. Only very few people watched it. However, good news, I'm rebroadcasting it once a week, all month, leading up to Christmas Eve, so please, check that out if you want to see what it looks like when I try to use my 2 degrees and either make a film or act or both. But today's not about that. Today's video is about one of the lesser known December wintertime Christmas adjacent holidays. I am of course speaking about December 5th, aka Krampusncht.
Krampusncht on December 5th. Krampus finds all the bad kids and beats them with a stick. Oh, Krampusncht, bad kids listen well. He'll put you in a basket, then he'll cart you off to...
So, like a lot of people out there, I'm not a Krampus hipster. I didn't know about him before it was cool. Krampus really got on my radar 4 to 5-ish years ago when that big movie Krampus came out, and it just opened my eyes to this incredible Christmas time character. As much as I love the holidays for all the warmth and the generosity and the giving, there's also something I find very appealing about the darker side of Christmas. I think that's why I love A Christmas Carol so much, and when I learned about Krampus, it was like Christmas came early, which ironically, Krampusnacht is basically Christmas showing up early. Krampus is described, at least in that 2015 film with Adam Scott, as Santa's evil twin. That's kind of painting in broad strokes, but it's not necessarily wrong, and that's what I find the most interesting about Krampus. Krampus really is the other half to Santa. Krampus is like the yin to Santa's yang. The two of them perfectly balanced. Now, Krampusnacht, which is today, December 5th,
Krampusncht on December 5th,
is the night before the Feast of St. Nicholas, or St. Nicholas's Day, which is December 6th. That's when St. Nicholas comes around and he gives presents and does the traditional generous things that kind of laid the foundation for Santa Claus as we know and love him today. However, the night before is Krampusnacht. That is the night that belongs to Krampus. That is when Krampus goes around and he weeds out all the naughty kids and just all the bad people in general, and he leaves them cold. Or if you're reading some of the more morbid folklore, that's when he starts hitting the bad people with bundles of sticks or throwing them into a sack and dragging them off to hell. And then all the good people are left to be rewarded on St. Nicholas Day. Okay, again, don't cite me on this, don't quote me, because I did very little research on Krampus's history for this video. This is just all coming from my head. Because the big thing that I love about Krampus as a figure is how he balances Santa. I think there's just something so beautiful, weirdly beautiful, about Santa and Krampus not just being co-workers, but being friends. And that inspired today's video, because today we are doing something that I have been planning for over a year. It is my first Funko Pop Christmas photo shoot, and the stars of today's shoot are going to be Santa and Krampus. If you've been following me for a while, you no doubt know I love Funko Pops. If you've been following me on Instagram at Yipchuck, YIPCHUCK, you no doubt know that I love taking pictures of Funko Pops. I've been doing it for just over 2 years now, and I have had people on more than one occasion say, Matt, how do you take these photos? Like, you need to do a behind the scenes look, and I haven't done it yet. But today, in celebration of Krampusnacht, We're gonna make it happen. So come along with me as I take photos of these two holiday heroes. You're actually not gonna be able to see much because I need to use the camera I'm recording on right now. So let's go.
All right, so the first thing that I like to do is look at the figure that is going to be the star of the photo. And you kind of have to remember that the pop is always the star. Anything that you're going to add to the photo is just enhancing the magic of this guy. So we have Santa. He's already pretty magical. Now, this figure doesn't have a lot of maneuverability with his head, because look, you'll see here, he can go back and forth a little bit. But that does still do a lot, because look, if we have his head looking straight forward like this, whoop, then all of a sudden it looks like he's kind of distracted while giving away some presents. But if we just make this slight adjustment, whoop, put him back here, then suddenly he is the gift giver. So right off the top of taking a picture, I like to look at the options and the mobility options of each specific pop to see, okay, how do I adjust their head, and then how does that affect their energy for the photo? So I know I definitely want Santa looking like this for the photo. But then the real magic comes from who we pair him with. Is he giving these lovely gifts to his lovely wife, Mrs. Claus? And is she exchanging them for cookies? As though he's saying, oh ho ho, look sweetie, I brought you presents. And she's like, ho 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 sweetie, I made cookies. Like, that's adorable, right? Or Santa could be talking to this beautiful Christmas tree. Like, oh ho ho, aren't you charming, Santa? How fun. Those are safe, conventional choices. What I want to look at is what happens if we take Santa in this jolly gift-giving pose and mix him with Krampus. Look how maniacal that is. We have innocent, unassuming Santa right there in the forefront, but then behind him lurking, Krampus. Ooh. Santa, jolly, Krampus, scary. And that's all well and good. But if we're going with the traditional Krampus traditions, remember, Krampus and Santa are kind of two halves of the whole. Santa's the one who takes care of all the good for Christmas. Krampus is the one who takes care of all the bad. So they really are kind of like partners, like they're friends. So I like having them side by side. If we have Krampus like this, then his energy is directed towards us, as if, you know, Krampus is saying, oh, you, viewer, come into my clutches. And then Santa's just there trying to give his friend a present. However, how adorable would it be if Santa and Krampus were doing a gift exchange? Look at that. Santa brought him presents, Krampus brought him a kid. See, and I really like this positioning for the two of them because their energy is directed towards one another, and you really get this kind of hilariously morbid sense that they are doing a holiday gift exchange. So I've decided this right here is the photo that I'm building around. Next step. Okay, so we know that this is the framing we want. The next thing we have to do is build the world. So we are going to excuse our two stars for a second and build the world. And we are just going to do it with two things. First, this beautiful penguin fleece blanket. I know, look at it. They're penguins and they have Santa hats. It's adorable. But what's really cool about this blanket is that when you put it on a flat surface, there we go, and then just kind of crumple it up just enough, you lose the detail of the penguins, then you just get a little bit of depth from the outline, like the black parts of the penguins, and because it is fleece and fluffy, to the camera, it's going to look like snow. So this is now our base. Next we are going to take this delightful holiday wall decor. Look, it lights up. Ooh, but we're not going to do that. And we're just going to place it right here behind the penguins, okay? And we're just going to push it up against the wall so that it is nice and secure. And the big priority here is that we want to hide the seam behind this fake background and our base. Because if you can see this line, then that ruins the illusion of the picture. Then you're pulling like Wizard of Oz, Judy Garland leaving Munchkinland. You don't want that. Okay, so now we have our blanket set up and our background. All you have to do, boom, is zoom in and adjust accordingly. And then you have set the stage. And something that's always important to me is finding a focal length that puts the background just out of focus enough that you can, for at least a second, believe that it's an actual setting in which your Funkos are living. But that means nothing if the Funkos aren't there. So let's bring in the talent and start this photo shoot.
And there we have it, friends, a behind-the-scenes look at my holiday photo shoot. Now, of course, after I shoot the photos, there's a whole stage of me putting them into Photoshop and then playing around with different editing techniques just to get the finished look. I didn't dig too deep into that today, but if anyone's interested, I can do a video on that in the future. But let's take a look at the finished product, shall we? I don't know where I'm going to put it on the screen, but I'm planning to use this image for my Christmas card for this year, and if my friends and family are lucky, I might actually send them out. I know that sounds like a joke, but last year I got a whole bunch of my Funko photos of Lucy in the chocolate factory. I turned them into Christmas cards, then I never actually sent them. So that's partially why, if you've ever received a card from me in a box swap, it's probably this. But yeah, if anyone wants to buy one, let me know. Anyway, friends, this concludes yet another episode of Teacup for One and the first episode of our Christmas content. Again, make sure that you check out the channel every Wednesday to see the latest episode of #Scrooge, a Christmas Carol web series. And if you want to be the first to know when I release more holiday content, make sure you're subscribed if you haven't subscribed already. If you haven't subscribed already, it is super easy. All you have to do is click on my face. Thanks for joining me again today, everyone. My name is Matt, and I have 2 degrees, and that's the Teacup for One. Happy Krampusnacht.